When we work with the present perfect, we know that this tense expresses actions that happened in the past. At the same time, the past simple also expresses actions that happened in the past. So what is the difference between these both tenses? Well, the difference between them in the first case is that when we have a present perfect form, this expresses an action that started in the past but it still goes on. There is a connection with the present. However, that connection with the present doesn't exist in the case of the past simple because the past simple expresses actions that happened in the past and finished in the past. For example, I can have a sentence like I have had my cat for 2 years, and that means that 2 years ago I got my cat and I still have it now. The same sentence in the past simple form, I had my cat for 2 years, means that I don't have my cat any longer, probably because it died. Another difference between these two tenses refer to the idea that the present perfect is used for actions in the past, but we don't specify when they happened. That doesn't apply to the past simple. In the case of the past simple, we have actions in the past, but we mention, we include, we talk about moment when it happened. We specify. For example, I have already seen The Hunger Games Mockingjay 2. I say that at some point in the past I had this experience, but I don't mention when. I saw it last weekend. In this case, I'm using the past simple and I specify the moment when that action took place. It was last weekend. Another difference between the present perfect and the past simple when it comes to actions in the past is connected to the first difference, to the idea of a connection with the present. So we use the present perfect for actions in a past or in a past time that includes the present. It is a period of time that hasn't finished yet. So we can say, for example, this week, this year, today. They imply an amount of time in that period, this week, or this year, or today, but we know that that period hasn't finished. However, when we use the past simple, we always refer to finished periods of time. For example, yesterday, last week, last year. There is no connection with the present anymore. For example, I have read 2 books this week. We only mention the idea that the action was performed alone this week. However, if we use the past simple, I read 3 books last week, we use a time expression that refers to a finished period of time, which is last week.